Good afternoon and welcome to the Daily News Analysis by Civil Service Institute, Pala. Before news in detail, a word about Israel-Iran conflict. We must tread the path of war cautiously. The US strikes have pushed the world to a very dangerous line. Most of the Middle Eastern countries have suspended flights and closed their airspaces. This ensuing war becomes important from both prelims and mains perspective for both those who are appearing for 2025 mains and those who are appearing for 2026 mains after clearing the prelims, especially in GS1, GS2, and GS3. In GS3, especially from science and tech, please do look at the basics of nuclear facilities. It becomes important for this year's mains. So now, top stories of the day. After Indus Waters Treaty suspension, India seeks pause in World Bank experts' proceedings over 𝗗𝗃𝗃𝗃 and 𝗦𝗲𝗿𝘆. India is set to ramp up oil imports from Russia, Africa, USA, and Latin America. After multi-party teams abroad, government considers parliamentary friendship groups. Nearly shut down in 2021, Pune School among 4 shortlisted for World's Best School Prize 2025. Asia, warming nearly twice global average, hit hard in 2024, says World Meteorological Organization. Statistics Ministry to conduct first ever household income survey in 2026. Challenges before IAEA after attacks on Iran's nuclear sites. Let's look at each of the topics separately. With the first news, India seeks pause in World Bank experts' proceedings over 𝗗𝗃𝗃𝗃 and 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗃 project. India has written to the World Bank's neutral expert, Michael Lino, requesting a pause in his proceedings on the 𝗦𝗃𝗃 and 𝗗𝗃𝗃𝗃 hydropower disputes following the Union government's decision to place the Indus Waters Treaty in abeyance. Michael Lino is a French dam engineer, and until recently, Michael Lino was the president of International Committee on Large Dams. He was appointed by the World Bank on October 13, 2022, under Article 9 and Annexure F of the Indus Water Treaty. The disputes being heard concern 2 Indian hydropower projects, especially in Jammu and Kashmir. Over the 𝗗𝗃𝗃𝗃 River is the 𝗗𝗃𝗃𝗃 project, and on the Chenab River is the 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗃 project. Following the Union Cabinet's decision to keep the treaty in abeyance until Pakistan stops its support for cross-border terrorism, the Indian government formally notified Lino and requested that he vacate the mutually agreed work program pertaining to the 𝗗𝗃𝗃𝗃 and 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗃 disputes. The government has drawn up a plan to construct a canal to divert water from the Indus River system to various Indian states. It has also carried out 2 flushing exercises at Baglihar and Salal, 2 run-of-the-river hydroelectric projects on the Chenab in Jammu and Kashmir, to clear sediment that hampers power generation. These are the first such exercises since Salal was built in 1987 and Baglihar in 2008-2009. Officials said flushing will now be conducted on a monthly basis. So for those who don't know about Indus Water Treaty, it was a World Bank brokered treaty between India and Pakistan. The eastern rivers, that is Beas, Setluj, and Ravi, is for the exclusive use of India, and the western rivers, that is Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab, is for the Pakistan's unrestricted use. I hope it's clear. Moving on to the next news. India is set to ramp up oil imports from Russia, Africa, US, and Latin America. The escalation in the Israel-Iran conflict and Tehran's threat to close the Strait of Hormuz are likely to push Indian refineries to further ramp up oil purchases from non-West Asian suppliers, mainly Russia, West Africa, USA, and Latin America, as shipping routes to Indian ports from these suppliers are detached from the critical choke point in the Persian Gulf. The Strait of Hormuz, as we have been looking continuously for the past 2-3 DNA analysis, daily news analysis, the Strait of Hormuz is a critical and narrow waterway between Iran and Oman and connects the Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. The US Energy Information Administration calls it the world's most important oil transit choke point, with around 1/5 of global liquid petroleum fuel consumption and global liquefied natural gas trade transiting the strait. Executives in India's refining sector said they are looking at buying additional volumes from geographies that are delinked from this West Asian shipping route. American, West African, and Latin American oil flows to India, although costlier, are viable backup options for any disruption in the West Asian supply. According to available data, 45% of crude oil imported by Indian refineries in May was likely to have been transported via the Strait of Hormuz. So, from this, you can understand how important the Strait of Hormuz is. India has increased its oil imports from Russia, accounting for over 41% of the country's imports, and sequentially, it has also increased imports from USA and West African countries. Moving on to the next news. After multi-party teams abroad, government considers parliamentary friendship groups. So the government is deliberating forming multi-party parliamentary friendship groups which will interact with their counterparts abroad, following the success of similar delegations sent for global outreach in the wake of Pahalgam terror attack and Operation Sindoor against Pakistan. These groups will regularly interact with their counterparts abroad and articulate house best practices and maintain communication between our and other parliaments of other countries. So several countries have such multi-party parliamentary groups. A parliamentary committee works as a mini parliament, and these committees are aimed at bringing transparency and accountability through discussion and production of evidence. And in this article itself, it was mentioned about the Estimates Committee of Parliament and State Assemblies, which examine government budget estimates and prepare a report. Their recommendations are adopted by the government to prepare the budget. So estimates committees examine government proposals for spending in advance, which is different from public accounts committees, which audit government spending. So please do read from your Lakshmikant about different committees of the parliament. Next news in this article, it becomes very important. Nearly shut down in 2021. Pune 𝗗𝗃𝗃 School among 4 shortlisted from India for World's Best School Prize 2025. Here, this article can be used, especially in GS4, that is the ethics paper. You can quote it as a case study. You can quote it as an example. You can also use this article as an example if an essay is asked. Anywhere in the essay, you can also use this in essay paper. This is a very good example for various topics which comes in essays also. So let's look at the news. A 𝗗𝗃𝗃 School in Pune has been shortlisted among global finalists for the World's Best School Prize 2025 in the category of Community Collaboration in Education. 3 other Indian schools, one each from Karnataka, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh, have also been shortlisted under various categories for the award organized by UK-based international education platform 𝗓𝗏Education. The 𝗗𝗃𝗃 School in Pune has undergone a major transformation under the leadership of Presidential Award-winning teacher 𝗓𝗏. The school has established academic partnerships with institutions like ISRO and IITs, introducing students to science and technology sector. Other important aspect was among the school's innovative approach. Most innovative approach is the Vishay Mitra Subject Friend Initiative. This is a peer learning model where senior students mentor juniors, helping clarify doubts in a comfortable and student-led setting. So I hope this article is clear. Moving on to the next news. Asia warming nearly twice global average, hit hard in 2024, says World Meteorological Organization. Asia experienced its warmest or second warmest year on record in 2024, with its average temperature 1.04 degrees Celsius above the last 30-year average, according to a new report by the World Meteorological Organization. The continent is warming up nearly twice as fast as the global average, the report said. The impact of this high rate of warming in 2024 manifested through a range of extreme weather events such as 29 tropical cyclones, prolonged and intense heat waves, and extreme rainfall events, including in India. These weather events also caused substantial loss to local communities and economies at large, said the State of Climate in Asia report, 2024 report, prepared again by World Meteorological Organization in collaboration with regional and international meteorological departments. So the warming trend between 1991 to 2024 was almost double of that during 1961 to 1990 period, the report quotes. India saw deaths due to cyclones, rain-triggered landslides, heat waves, and floods, etc. So climate change is a reality. Next news. In this news, we see Statistics Ministry to conduct first ever household income survey in 2026. The Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation will conduct the first ever household income survey in 2026 with a technical expert group being set up to guide the ministry on the method of estimation and other aspects of the survey. In addition to measuring household income, the proposed survey will also try to assess the impact of adoption of technology on wages. The expert group constituted on Monday will be chaired by economist 𝗗𝗲𝗃𝗆, formerly India's executive director to International Monetary Fund and also a part-time member of the Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister. The survey will be Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation's latest attempt to measure household income in India, with pilots conducted in the past not resulting in a nationwide survey due to difficulties in collecting reliable income data. The Statistics Ministry said there is an urgent need to conduct a dedicated income distribution survey to understand the structural changes the Indian economy has undergone over the last 75 years. And the last news of the day, it's about challenges before International Atomic Energy Agency after attacks on Iran's nuclear sites. So Israel, Iran, and USA has engulfed themselves in a bloody war, and let's wait and watch what are the outcomes are. So in this article, we will discuss the challenges before IAEA. The attacks by the United States and Israel on Iran's nuclear sites mark the first time any country's operational nuclear facilities have been targeted. As a result, numerous concerns have emerged in the aftermath of the attacks, including the risk of radiation leaks. The attacks could also disrupt IAEA's access to these nuclear sites, which has still now helped the organization and the rest of the world gather information about the status at these facilities. The first one is about assessing risk of radiation. Every nuclear facility anywhere in the world is fitted with instruments that monitor radiation levels in real time. Iran is a signatory to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and as a non-nuclear weapon state. In that capacity, it had to mandatorily enter into a comprehensive safeguards agreement with the IAEA, which allows the organization to install its own equipment to monitor activities, including radiation levels. So bigger radiation leaks can even be detected from far away. Nuclear radiation typically consists of alpha, beta, and gamma rays and also neutrons. Of these, gamma rays can travel long distances and can potentially be detected by sensors in other countries. In certain cases, signatures of a leak can be captured by satellites as well. So next is about assessing damage to facilities. The damage to Iran's nuclear sites is still being assessed as most of the crucial parts are underground. The further facility used for enriching uranium is almost entirely underground. Most of the NANS facility, including the enrichment infrastructure, is also underground, while some parts of the Isfahan are also apparently underground. While Iran has played down the impact of the attacks, saying no irreversible damage has taken place, IAEA's preliminary assessment presents a more serious picture. Although the International Atomic Energy Agency has its team deployed in Iran, the organization does not currently have access to these sites. So therefore, IAEA has said its staff is ready to carry out inspections of the sites to assess the damage, but their safety might be a concern in the current situation. And the last one is accounting for nuclear material. This might be the biggest concern right now. The IAEA keeps track of all nuclear material around the world with the help of information provided by host countries. Every country using, storing, or handling nuclear material is supposed to report its status to the International Atomic Energy Agency. This is particularly true for a country like Iran, which, besides being a non-proliferation treaty signatory, is also under special watch due to its suspected attempts to build nuclear weapons. According to IAEA, Iran has 400 kilograms of uranium that is already enriched to 60%, just a few steps away from further enrichment to weapons grade level of 90% or more. So the total stockpile of uranium and other nuclear material would be much more. Iran has said that anticipating an attack, it had already evacuated its sensitive nuclear materials to undisclosed safer locations. The attacks by Israel and US might lead to unverified use of nuclear material or nuclear proliferation. Let's hope the war won't last long and the end game is near for Middle East. With this, we wind up today's session. I hope it was fruitful and helpful to you. Please do comment below. Thank you. Have a nice day.